don't you run the danger of segregating? Because if we're looking at an educated population, how many really, are the people who constitute that compared to the number of people who are not educated and who oftentimes form fodder for this political engagement?
Okay, let me clarify. It's not actually the issue of segregating people educated to be, no. What I'm saying is that we have people who are educated to some particular level, not really maybe BSc level or maybe master's level, that are very comported in their communities. People that people could listen to, and they're youths. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're people that are comported, people that could be able to handle leadership position. The problem is that there's a lot of toggery, both at the levels down. Mm-hmm. So people that are actually taken in positions of authority are people that are signified to have, control of instrument of destruction in our society. So what we want to do is to ensure that the right-minded Nigerians, irrespective of their level of education, is that okay? The most important thing is that you can articulate clearly your agenda for your people, for Nigeria. That's what we are considering.
So the question will be, who is a young professional for you and your group?
For our organization, we have our definition for young professionals are people that are working, in the societies. They are working in various aspects of Nigerian societies, either media, either the government, either private sector, or whatever they're working. And we are looking at graduates, because our own portion is graduates. We are, from our meetings that we've held, we've been able to discover that some particular portion of population who are not having access to education have been saying, we want to be part of what is happening in the system. So now we have a new vision. As you grow in the vision you have, you expand. So we have a new vision of trying to incorporate people that are not up to our level educationally, because they also have a voice. In fact, for your own information, they constitute a large number of people in the country. So we have to bring them along in our journey.
In getting people, right-minded youths to participate in leadership, there are those who are afraid that today's youth are not ready to engage in the leadership positions. That they are not ready, they're not prepared, and those of them who've had the opportunity of stepping in, they have gone there to mess up the platform, so to speak. So how do you intend to achieve that?
I think it's a negative assumption. I think the assumption is completely negative. I think the problem is that we don't have opportunities. And just as I've told you before, please, the youths that find themselves there, look at how they got into that position. Look at the people. It's all about godfatherism. It's not about merit. I want you to understand. We want to make sure the youths that should get to those positions are people that merit the positions. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So if you look at youths that mess up in political positions in this country, there are people that are placed there by some people based on maybe ethnic or religious sentiments. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But what we want is a framework where people that are credible, people that have the capacity by merit, should be the people who are in government. So that's the strategy.
What's the thinking from your group about dealing with thuggery?
So?
Dealing with thuggery among young people, especially for political purposes.
Yeah.
What's the thinking of your group on how to deal with this?
It's enlightenment.
Did you discuss this?
Yes, it's enlightenment. I hope maybe I should expand our activities. We have regional heads. We have the head of Northern Region, the Southern Region, the Eastern Region, Western Region, and under them they have also directors of each of the states. Is that okay? So we have enlightenment programs that we do to the grassroots level. Do you understand what I'm saying? And what the organization also want to embark on is economic empowerment programs. Because one of the greatest problems of thuggery is because of joblessness, is because of unemployment. Is that okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? So what we want to do as an organization is also to run empowerment programs so that as we talk to them, we can engage them, by providing services.
Empowerment program?
Yeah.
A host of people might not agree with you, Sarah Chamberlain, in the sense that if you also look at what obtains in the universities and the higher institutions of learning, how many students actually participate in student politics? And what sort of students participate in student politics? Because there are very few people who are refined or practice that even, normally without some element of thuggery. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you.
And how would you explain that?
No, because I would would love to answer that question in this light. Politics has been bastardized. The reason why people don't want to get into politics, especially the younger generation, is because of how politics has been misrepresented in this country. But the truth about it is this, that those people in political positions in Nigeria are the ones that actually show the country the direction it ought to go. We cannot see beyond the vision of our leaders. What we are doing now is to ensure and to enlighten people that, look, we have to get involved in the process, because that is the only way change can take place in our country. So that is what we are doing, from places to places, from schools to schools. I think Suleiman, and you were also in the program here in Lagos. The youth representative from university is awesome. The interviews that I have taken with them, and it's awesome. People want this change. People are saying, well, how can we? We have medical doctors, we have lawyers, we have mass comm people. All these people are saying, how can we make the change in our society? Because now, whether they like it or not, they will leave those schools and come out, and they don't have jobs. They will leave those schools and come out, but they have nothing to do. So we have to bring men of vision into politics. We have to bring people on board that could be able to create opportunities for people in our country. So that is how we embark on it.
So does this group talk to student politicians, or those who, because I do remember way back at that time,
yeah.
Boy, I'm trying to remember his name now, where the then student union president, University of Lagos, what he was talking about, intellectual aluta.
Okay.
We know the challenge he faced from those who wanted the status quo and the conventional way of politics to go on, but he did thrive. He did provide some sort of leadership. So do we see, are you also thinking about getting to those different schools in the country,
very well,
talking to them about the importance and the need to do it right at that stage, because who knows, those people may find themselves in leadership positions in the country tomorrow.
Exactly, you're right, we're doing that. For your information, the Minister of Information, Labram Marco, was a student leader in his time. You understand what I'm saying? He was a student leader in his time. There are various people in political positions today that are student leaders, so we understand that at that particular level, we need to make sure that the enlightenment goes on in that particular level, because that is the place for training,
Okay. What about now? Do we have youth groups that form what I could describe as shadow policy makers, to the extent that they look at government policy and think, wait a minute, I think if we suggest they go about it in a certain manner, they might get their results, rather than just keep preparing. But you have to get to that stage wherein you look at policies and think, look, we think this alternative policy will work better than this one that you have.
I think you need to join us, because I think you need to join us, because the truth about it is that is part of our vision. Part of our vision is to analyze public policies, government policies. Then we look at we perform an analysis on it. The threats, the advantages, the disadvantage of them. We look at them. Then we air our views concerning policies. If this policy is going to go well with the generality of Nigerians, we will applaud it. But if not, we want a common ground, to establish a common ground, that our voice will be heard when policies, we believe, is not helping this country.
How do you deal with the issue of buying of votes? What's the guarantee that the youth will not sell their vote, or will not sell themselves just to earn a living?
We are not, our journey just began. Rome was not built in a day. But we are extremely optimistic because of what we are seeing in our rallies around the country. Youths are tired. Their futures are being mortgaged. They know right now that the money they collect is what they will use for that moment, but their future is mortgaged. Do you know that we are the ones most hit by the problems of our country right now? 70% of the 80 million people I'm talking about are unemployed. We are worst hit with the situation of our country. Now the eyes of the youths are beginning to open, and people are beginning to say no way to money. It is time for us to take our destinies into our hands, and that is the reason, and that is what is giving us the motivation. It's giving us the motivation to marshal out support from every place that we could be able to marshal our support, so that we could have
legitimate support.
Yes, definitely. We are not going to destroy the essence of what we are standing for. Definitely.
All right. We know it's not going to be easy, but we'll talk about that when we return. All right. Join us again.
All right.